Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Women's Disability Show. I'm your host for the day, Brianna Wheeler, and we are on the Live to Roll show. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, I have some lovely guests with me, some beautiful, beautiful guests, and they're filling in. We had some last minute cancellations, so my voice came through for me, and we're going to talk all about disability pride and what we've been going through in life, and just a little bit of a follow up check in and some facts about disability pride and how it started. Tom is going to hit us with some of those. So we're going to get right into introductions, and then we're going to go into the facts, guys. So my name's Brianna. I was injured 6 years ago. I don't know why I always forget that number. Am I frozen? Oh shit. 6 years ago, I'm a T12 through L5, and I live in California. Let's go to Tom.
What's up, everybody? Sorry the guys got to invade the ladies show this week. We're just trying to fill in and be as helpful as we can. So we appreciate you guys entertaining us. But yeah, I'm Tom Conaway, C5-6 quadriplegic. Been paralyzed going on 25 years. And yeah, flipping around all over the place.
The thing is weird from the women's. I forgot it was weird, so I had to switch it back.
No,
I
it's
knew it
all
looked
good.
weird.
I hope my audio and my lighting is okay. I feel a little bit of a hot mess right now. Emphasis on the hot, but we out here. Hi,
It's all
Nikki.
good.
Hi, Mama. We got Mama Conway in the building.
Got the family.
And
If
yeah,
you guys are joining us in the chat, make sure to drop your names. Feel free to talk to each other. We love to go through and read your guys' comments. Sometimes we don't get to it right away, but we do go through and read each comment, answer any questions that you guys have. And also, your comments show up on our live video. So it really does help if you are in the live and you're asking helpful questions, because we're able to clarify it right then and there for the other viewers that are coming along later and watching it. So we do appreciate it. Let's go to Shawn.
All right.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool just being the guest here. Sort of. Yeah. I'm Shawn, C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 18 years ago now. And I think this is actually my second or third appearance on the women's show, so I'm proud to
Be a weekly guest, a reoccurring guest.
Yeah. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Alice. Everybody in the chat.
And last but certainly not least, Bobby. Thank you for joining us.
Because we saved the best for last. It's Bobby Rohan.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, guys. Welcome back. Gals, I should say ladies. Welcome back.
Ladies.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Bobby Rohan, C5, C6 quadriplegic of 33 years. Just happy to be here and switching gears on a Thursday and a little different. I don't know, Shawn. I like this new 3 o'clock. It helps me set up the afternoon, for a nice dinner. But no, I like this time. And,
I like the 3 o'clock too. Maybe we should think about a shift.
Damn, we're gonna have to switch it up a little bit.
Sorry, gotta mix some things up. But I'm so honored to be here, Brianna. You've been taking charge of this women's group. You dive right in and let's get the ball rolling. Let's hear from our sponsors. I don't know if you do that here. I always have to remind
we definitely represent our sponsors and talk about urology professionals and mobility professionals. I'm just literally talking to Ashley about getting hooked up with urology professionals, and they're helping her out, getting her what she needs. They are so kind and knowledgeable, and they know exactly what to do and where to go and how to advocate for you. So they've been trained really well. So give it a try. Even if you're, it's a hassle getting on the phone. Sometimes we get so much anxiety and we kind of don't follow through on appointments. I know I talk to a lot of people where it's a big hassle, but with them, they do make it lovely, and they do help out. So give it a shot, and it could be life-changing. It changed my life a lot. So, and also mobility professionals, our wheelchairs, our tools, our pride comes from that. What were you going to say, Tom?
No, I was just going to say there's no desperate feeling like not having catheter supplies or having regular supplies, or knowing that, they're going to be coming on time and regularly. So, urology professionals really will assure you and make that, easy in your mind, knowing that, you'll get what you need. So if you are feeling that way, you shouldn't be. So go and check them out.
Yeah, as well as dealing with people that know what you're talking about and know how to cater towards your needs, because they also hired the disabled and they know what we're talking about.
And similarly with mobility equipment, when it comes to preventing any kind of health issue and improving your health, improving your mobility, improving your independence. It sucks, but it all comes down to our equipment. The tools, the technology in our lives is essential and important because it bridges that gap. Now, very few companies or insurances or hospitals or anybody seems to understand the importance of this kind of equipment other than the individuals using it. But Mobility Professionals is this kind of company that does understand that importance. And if you aren't in the right chair, they will get you in the right chair. And a company that will do that is few and far between, unfortunately, nowadays. But thankfully, we're lucky enough to be sponsored by one of them. And all your rehabilitation equipment, when it comes to shower chairs, things like that, please go check them out if you're in the Southern California area and you need some help and some love.
We need the party emoji. I mean, the sound. Man, I need to get those
Yeah.
sounds. I'm
There we
always
go.
so jealous of them.
I know.
Oh,
Yes.
Let's go for our sponsors. We appreciate you
Thank you,
guys so
guys.
much. And if you're watching and you're interested in sponsoring us, please send us a message. We're always interested in following up with other people that are trying to help us in our community. And our viewers really do trust our opinion and trust our reviews on products. So if we're bringing them something, they know it can be guaranteed and it's good. And that can be really important because there can be an overwhelming amount of products out there sometimes, and we kind of don't know where to look or who to trust. So if you're one of those people, make sure to send us an email. Let's set up a phone call. Let's get you on here. Okay, let's go into Disability Pride. This month is Disability Pride Month, and Tom has some facts for us.
What does that mean? What is Disability Pride Month? Disability Pride Month. So it's celebrating the 32nd year of the signing of the ADA Act that was signed in July 26th. So the month has just been kind of been dedicated to awareness and celebration of all different kinds of disabilities. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Celebrating the affirmation of ADA in our society. Now, what is ADA? It is the American Disabilities Act, and it's just legislation to ensure any new developments and some currently developed establishments would be mandated to provide accessibility everywhere, like full stop, including all public spaces, all public transportation. We could talk a little bit more about that because that's not really the case in certain places, in certain instances. And many can argue that, ADA is in a little bit of a failed state right now. I mean, I can roll within a block of my house and, encounter a sidewalk without a curb cut out. And that expands to healthcare in general for individuals with disabilities and the support of certain social institutions and systems that are meant to aid and assist individuals like ourselves who are burdened with, living with this stuff. Now, again, thank goodness legislation exists, but I would argue, and I will continue to talk, and I hope we don't lose viewers because of it, that it needs to change. Things need to change. It's failed legislation at this point, and that we lack accessibility in many ways in everything out regular space, and that extends to travel and it extends to healthcare and how we're treated, with insurance companies and the profit taking. But I'm gonna stop. We're here to celebrate Disability Pride, and that takes form in a lot of different ways. We were just talking about it a little before the show. I am proud of my community. I'm proud to be quadriplegic. I'm proud to be a member of the spinal cord injury community and the disabled community as a whole. I'm proud of myself. And beyond that, I don't know. Like, I'm not really proud of my disability, but I'm proud that I'm able to, survive in this crazy world with it. How about you guys? What's your take? How do you feel about
Yeah, I like that.
stuff?
And I like that you brought up, the history of disability pride because I feel like that's where a lot of my pride came from when I watched Crip Camp and I saw like just the history of disabled people and how hard they've had to fight for just a little bit that we have. And it made me excited to join the fight. And it made me excited to be a part of the fight for the future generations that are going to come because they're still coming, and people are getting injured every single day. And so it's also that motivation to influence them and also show them that they can be fighters now in this community too, and
And
it take
shout out Crip Camp. Like, if you haven't seen it, please go watch that. It's a documentary on Netflix about disability pride and the development of the ADA, and it's really amazing.
Mhm. Yeah, Judy Human is actually going to be at the World's Experience and she's going to be doing a meet and greet. So if you want to go get her book and have it signed there, if you're going up to the World's Experience, that's going to be really cool just to actually meet somebody. I mean, it's an honor to be able to shake her hand and have a conversation with her. I think it's super cool and I'm excited to join that fight. Yeah, so I think that's what makes me also prideful as well. And I feel like when I think about my disability and pride, it more comes from who I am because of my disability and how I'm able to have an effect and how I'm able to help people now because of what I've gone through. And I don't know, I just feel blessed because of that. I do feel humbled. Like I of course have struggles. This shit is not easy by any means. It's hard to have a disability. But it's like pick your battle in this world. If anything, I'm happy that my struggle has made me a better person in this world because some people let their struggles destroy them. So yeah.
If it doesn't make you, it breaks you. But it's made us and a lot
Hmm.
of other individuals, and that's kind of, and it's okay if it breaks you for a time. Like, I feel like that
I think
phrase can be a little twisted because, like, we all do get broken, but you put yourself back together, and you put yourself back together in a stronger way.
Hmm.
And
I think that's the most important part. It's not the falling down part. It's the getting back up that matters. So if
yeah,
you're in that ditch, like that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many obstacles or ditches that you fall in or how many, bad things that you feel are coming your way. It's how you react to them. It's how you control your mindset, how you go about your day, and it's like you can make small effects to make things better. It's a choice. It's a choice at the end of the day. I was angry for a long time. I'm not saying you can't be angry, but I've learned not to let it destroy me.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I still get angry sometimes.
yeah. Everybody does it.
But I don't
We're
hang on to it.
human.
I try not to. Yeah, we're human. How
Yeah.
about
So
you,
what about you,
Bobby?
Sean?
Uh,
Oh, sorry. We went to different people
I'm
right now.
sorry. I'm sorry,
No, it's all
Shawn.
good.
Uh, we'll get to you, my man. I'm curious. The reason I asked about Bobby is, Bobby's been paralyzed longer than any of us, and you've seen a change in ADA. You witnessed it in the
Yeah.
30 years
I,
that you've been disabled because it went into legislation near when you were first injured.
yeah. I went a whole year without it, and man, that whole year was tough. No, because I had just gotten injured. I don't know what the battle was beforehand, and I've only heard the horror stories from my good buddies. Robert Soto, one of our frequent guests that we have on. He's been hurt 46 years, and our good friend at Mobility Professionals, Dean McCabe, 38 or 39 years. So these guys had a little more experience, and hearing about some of the things that they experienced before ADA. And I know that it's not the perfect system, the ADA law, but it is something that is a fight for us, a fighting chance for us. It is hugely important for when we go find employment. It protects us in the employment uh, industry. It helps us in public transportation. That public transportation is required to give us access. It's not perfect. It's not pretty. Having that bus or the subway come by that broken down that they can't get us on or whatever, yeah, those are heartaches when it happens. But by ADA law, it protects us to get onto those public transportation. It helps us accommodate in uh, public access, many other things. I mean, uh, telecommunication, housing act, career act, voting accessibility. So a lot of these things are in that law, and it does help us in the long run. We might not see it for you and I on an everyday basis, but it is there for us, and it is protecting us. And
Well,
later on in the show, I have some 11 ways we can celebrate it. But one of the biggest things is for us to act, for us to get involved in going to our Congress and going to Capitol Hill and making a voice for ourselves. We can sit here and get on this channel or get on any Facebook post and complain about what we experience. But if you don't do something about it, it's never going to get done. So luckily for us, we do have that ADA for what it is. And the law is pretty tight. And there are going to be a lot of changes of what I've asked a lot of people. How come they can't change it? There's never been one change from that signing 32 years ago. And they're probably not going to be for some time. It would almost have to be rewritten, is what I heard. So, it's
I feel
not the
like we're
perfect
gonna need to
system.
do a sit-in, guys.
And
yeah,
that's
I
what it
mean,
is.
for
I'm
real,
talking about
like
my
it's gonna
experience.
suck to have to do my bowel program out in front of the office of a congressperson, but I'll do
Yes,
it.
maybe it's time
Uh,
for another takeover. I don't know. It feels like,
Uh,
our voices are not being heard and they're kind of shoving us to the side, but this pile that they're shoving to the side is now overfilling. And we have a loud voice, and like Bobby's right, we need to use it because if not, they're not listening to us. They're caring about the majority of the population, which is able-bodied people, what they're seeing in front of their eyes. And they don't realize the accommodations that they've made to make their lives easier. Like they can fit through all the doors. They can, go up the stairs. If the stairs wasn't there and they had to climb a mountain to wherever they were going, I'm sure they would be bitching their asses off.
yeah.
But they feel like it's such like a privilege for us to have. And it's ridiculous, but we do have to be grateful for the little blessings, of course. We just have to keep fighting. And that's for everything. It's for all the rights. It's not just us,
yeah,
unfortunately. The world's
It's
fucked
not for
up.
just, yeah, yeah. It's not for just
D-
disability. I
yeah,
mean, you can
Disability
go out and
Pride
argue it
Month.
one.
It's not a federally recognized holiday or month, but it is internationally recognized that it is celebrated in the United Kingdom. It's celebrated in other parts of Europe and even Africa and South Africa. So there is global recognition, and the reason it is globally recognized is to highlight and raise awareness, um, to hold individuals accountable, to highlight and have a month to raise our voices and to speak on our needs, as a whole little individual community and culture. I mean, there's like 3 million disabled people. I mean, even more. I think it's 3 million spinal cord injured people in the United States.
Yeah.
And however many, millions, hundreds, tens plus of millions of disabled people. It's crazy. The lack of services, the lack of accessibility, the lack of ADA in all
The
forms, all
amount of
facets.
people that have the same story is so sad. The fact that newly injured people are getting injured and they're like, they're saying no, they're giving me a hassle. Everything's so hard. And I'm just like, you have to keep trying. When they say no, you have to appeal it. And it's sad that that's my answer. I want to tell them it gets better. I want to tell them, it gets easier. And it's just not the case with it. And like, it's sucky. It does suck. But yeah, we have to make a change. That's the only way we can get on it. And I feel like kind of guilty for complaining and that's kind of like where they get us, right? Because they're like, oh, you guys should be happy that you have something. But it's like, after how many years are we just accepting the bare minimum you
Well,
know
it does seem
I
like
don't
it's kind
know.
of gone the wrong direction because at least even 18 years ago when I was in rehab, I spent it was not that much. It was like a little over 2 months in rehab, which now you get like 6 weeks kind of max or whatever it is.
hmm
Like,
they kicked
so
me
they,
out in
they just
21
keep
days.
cutting time. Like insurance just keep getting cheaper and cheaper, cutting time and like
Well,
cutting
it's
resources.
because,
So it's
yeah,
harder and
it's
harder
like
for us.
they commodify the business. They commodify rehabilitation, meaning like that there was a golden era. Like Shawn and I were kind of in that golden era where we got pretty decent care, and I had two wheelchairs given to me by my insurance and stuff, and like really like insane levels of And even then, my mom was still on the phone every freaking day, spending hours and months of her life fighting with these people. So I mean,
Have you
I can't
guys
even
thought
call it
about the
that because it's not
categories of
true.
like the categories that they put us in? Like, is it, I feel like, am I being ableist towards other disabilities? You know, what you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong, like how they have us just kind of all in one section. So it's like disability and 65 and older, you know, majority of the
Well,
time. Like,
there's different kinds of disabilities. So there's mental disability, there's physical disability, there's physical disabilities as a result of cognitive dysfunction, which I think, is a category of, mental disability. Now, how do you treat everybody and like categorize everybody and ensure that everybody's needs are met? Now, the regional center is an amazing program here in at least in California. I think it's national, that does a lot of support and help for individuals with mental health. And I don't know, like I would make a joke when I was younger with my mom, like we both would, like if only I had like brain condition that caused my disability, because we would get a lot more support and assistance. We'd get a lot
mhm,
more equipment, resources, whatever I needed, essentially. Because falling into the category of being at least a quadriplegic with a high aspiration for independence, it costs you. It does. It costs me, and it's costing me my health. It's costing me my strength. It's costing me, I don't know, too much. And I'm trying to rectify that, like figure out how to strike a better balance and recognize and demand my rights and a certain quality of life.
mhm.
But absolutely, like I think certain individuals with certain physical disabilities, especially less visible disabilities, can generally be, I don't know if this is the right word, but discriminated against by the healthcare system and by
Mhm.
social systems that are like this structure that's supposed to be here to support individuals like that. And
Yeah.
I don't know. It also
Even
is a
when we're
failing.
talking about disability pride, I feel like it's so crazy that our main complaint is the people that are supposed to help us, like the government, the assistants. Like we all have the most trouble with it, and it kind of sucks because we're like already trying to like survive. We're like in the water, and we're just trying to get that breath of fresh air, you know. And it's like the thing that's pulling us down is the thing that's supposed to be helping us, and I think that's where a lot of us get tripped up, you know. And it takes a mental exhaustion, I feel like, too.
It makes me
And not
feel
to
bad.
be, I want to flip the other side. I don't want to be this other person that's like, wait, guys, hold on. But also remember, though, we have come a long way. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
back in the early, 1900s, I mean, they put us, out to pasture or put us in, Fairview or something like that, and lock it and
Mhm,
throw away the key, and your care was not met. I mean,
mhm,
and it wasn't even that long ago, up until 1970, the 70s, when people were coming home from Vietnam, and the pressure sores and the striker beds. And luckily medical technology has brought us a long way and has made us live longer. We have better wheelchairs, we have better cushion, we have better catheters, we have a better system to roll around. We do have access. We can go to Vegas, and there's 2 steps, but there's an elevator right there to put us up those little 2 steps. So there is a lot of things that have come along, and that we don't have to fight so much. And I know, like 30 years ago, I was in the hospital for 6 months, and now it's 18 days. But also,
mhm,
they've done research where
mhm,
somebody like me didn't need to really be in the hospital for 6 months. It can be done at home. And is it a better way to learn? No. But they also say, and we said it 33 years ago, and we're saying it today, rehab doesn't start until you get home. And that's where we're trying to figure out. But we are getting a lot of good treatment. We are celebrating that we do have some great technology. We're living longer, and that, our family just didn't disown us, or our own government disown us and put us, to some abandoned island and lock up, keep us there because
mhm,
we look different, or or for any of us who were born different, or can't hear or can't see. you know there is so much great access that somebody who
Preach,
is deaf.
Bobby. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
so we do have to look at the flip side of it, and we do
uh-huh.
have to see the positive. And that's why we do celebrate what we do. To see a movie at the Academy Awards this year, Coda win Best Picture
Yeah, that's
and Best
Mhm,
Actor. That's what we're
Yeah.
celebrating. That those
Yeah.
people and us with disability have to we have that access to become something of an Academy Award winning actor one day.
Yeah, I think it's cool also to see those growths in the community. It's just slow steps, and that's what I mean by I'm excited to be excited. I'm excited to be a part of the fight. It's going to be a fight. We're advocating. There's so many different categories that people are trying to improve in the world. And like unfortunately, we fall in one of those categories that aren't getting a lot of attention right now. But that doesn't mean that it's not possible, and it doesn't mean that your voice doesn't matter. Every single voice matters. And I think that's what's so cool even about being on here and having these conversations and discussing about it. It's involved so much because these conversations weren't being had, especially on the internet, so long ago. So it's so cool that people can now go and search and find a YouTube channel that's filled with information for them, and different opportunities and different perspectives of people that are disabled. I think it's amazing, honestly. And also, Shawn, I want to ask you real quick before we get off topic. How has it been for you seeing the Live to Roll family grow, and how has that improved your pride? And how has your journey been with that? Because I'm sure it was amazing even seeing us all in Chicago.
Tell
It
us about
was.
your disability pride, Shawn.
And honestly, yeah, my disability pride, that's what I was saying before too, like I mentioned. Like, yeah, my pride, it's not like I'm proud to have a wheelchair, but it's like, but I am proud of like all the things I've accomplished despite having, the level of disability I have. And honestly, I feel in like the later years, and like you mentioned with Live to Roll, I feel that same pride or almost more pride, like watching Live to Roll grow, and then watching like you guys, especially like you, like Nikki Ashley, like the newer, you guys are like newer, still injury, and you're like still developing into like I don't know, it's that honestly is amazing for me to watch, and that gives me a
they're
ton of pride.
developing
So like
they're
yeah,
developing into some powerful women that are going to make changes.
yeah, exactly.
Brianna, and you're going to go out there, and Nicole, you guys are going to fight for us old geezers out here and help us gain more access and for those, to come. And I think that's what, you talked about that movie Crib Camp. Look at what they paved and look what they had beforehand.
Yeah,
And they paved it for us. Now we need to pave it for the next generation.
yeah.
Yeah, I have goosebumps. I feel like I want to cry. Yes, that's exactly what it's all about. And that's what even twisted my mindset is seeing that people are getting injured and the fact that my motivation, me going out and doing things in the world motivated them, and it's creating like just a newer generation of people who have that powerful mindset that know that they could do it, off firsthand, because the reality is that nobody told me for 2 years. I did not meet somebody in a wheelchair. I could Google these resources and I could not find them. And it really has changed my life being able to discuss this stuff and being able to talk and being able to help people grow. I mean, seeing Ashley and Nikki, even Maya, I saw Maya when she was first injured too. Like watching them, who they become and how powerful that they are inside of the community, like motivates me beyond like words that I can describe. It makes me feel so grateful, and I feel like at that point, how can I take away my disability? How can I make it go away? It makes me proud.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
shout out our buddy Renee in the chat too. Renee, I met when he was injured, right at the hospital in Rancho, and I've visited with him and hung out with him. Like he's come a long way, and it's been awesome to watch. And he mentioned earlier, more social media exposure helps with the community, and yeah, I think that does help. But it also helps to expose, like not just like sharing, ranting on Facebook, like actually making like meaningful posts on social media to like bring the proper exposure. That's
Or volunteering, like actually volunteering. There's tons of
Mm.
organizations that are trying to help, like United Spinal and like different organizations in our community that need volunteers. Like, yeah, volunteering isn't always the easiest thing to do, but it does help our community out a lot.
Nikki just messaged or put that she missed a little, but she's back. You missed
Oh,
us
Oh,
so
talking about how great
you're
you
gonna have
were.
to go
So
back
I
and listen
know
to
you missed the best
what you gotta
part.
listen.
What the hell? You need to press
I missed
reverse.
it. Come
you
So
on.
got to
funny.
go back and watch. You.
I also want to shout out JJ Mack. He's coming all the way from the UK to join us tonight. So
JJ.
that's super dope. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining us, and thank you for giving us your opinion. So great that we have you guys like you and many others advocating for us and newly injured people. Thank you.
Oh.
Super cool.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
That's so sweet. So,
It's,
go ahead, Tom.
Bobby. No, you go ahead, man.
Well, I was going to talk about how ways you can celebrate. And I found this kind of a cool article just before we got on. So I'm just going to shout some of these things out and that you can do. One is learn about disability as a first language. If you don't know what that is, definitely look that up and read about when you're in the community that, how that language is going to work with somebody in your community or someone around you with a disability about that. Read a book by a disabled author or watch a show. I just saw, and I wish I can shout out the show, but it was a gentleman who wrote and is directing a show. He's a amputee, a high amputee, and he wrote a show about a kid in high school with amputee, and the kid is doing everything, playing sports, and I think running for president of his school, doing all these activities just to show that even kids with disabilities can get out there and do whatever is in front of them. Take action and call your elected officials about the Air Carrier Access Agreement Act. Okay, that is huge because right now anybody can go on to Dana and Christopher Reeves, and off to the side you can find that and easy set up an easy email. It's all written for you. All you have to do is send it, and that says that you want air carrier access.
I'm going to do it right after the show. Everybody, please go and do that
maybe
too.
Shawn, we can add these inside of the description box too, just so they have like the resources right there for anybody who's
Yeah, if
watching
Bobby wants
afterwards.
to email them to me, I'll add them in right after the show.
So and then
that's an amazing organization just to shout out to. If anybody is looking for meaningful resources, meaningful help from individuals that have been representative of this community for 30, 40 years, the Christopher and Dana Reeves Foundation. I don't know, he was like the first exposure I had to someone else is a quadriplegic, and it's kind of been this like hero in my head for a long time. And so please go check out their website. I checked out their website early on in my injury when I first got on, my computer, and read a lot of meaningful, helpful information. So please just go check it out if you might find that helpful.
Absolutely.
What else do you have for us, Bobby?
Good one here. Donate to organizations that center with people with disabilities to make a bigger impact. There's so many of them out there. I'll just shout out a couple with the role, maybe.
So there's Triumph and also not a nonprofit, but if you guys want to donate to our GoFundMe we have right now, we are trying to raise some travel funds. So yeah, we have a GoFundMe. I'm going to put that link in the description as well. I forgot to before. But yeah,
and just to let you guys know, it's hard to ask for this money. It's not easy to
we did not
say the words. It's prideful.
It is. Yeah.
It's hard to ask for all this shit. Like I feel like so lame having to ask for basic quality of life. Like I feel it's like I shouldn't feel guilty, but I feel guilty. Like asking for more care, asking for more help, asking for additional things that I need. And I should not feel that way because we have the means. I mean, that's what really gets me. And I'm not, any more learned than the next guy. But, I have made it my business to, learn as much as I could about, the world as it is. And we have enough. We have the resources. We have the tools. We have the technology. We have it all. There's warehouses of wheelchairs just sitting there unoccupied. There's warehouses of supplies and equipment. It's just sitting there, not being used. Like that is desperately needed by tens of thousands of people, millions of people. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. It's wild. It's sick. It's not right. It's not right at all.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah,
the donate to the little guys, because we're trying to help the
Absolutely.
community. Foundation's another one that really does help. I
sorry,
mean, I think
Shawn,
it's
I'll stop getting all political.
no, it's not good. I love that we have different perspectives. I have that we have different voices on this channel. I think it's super cool that we're different. We're passionate about different topics, and I think it's relatable because there's different viewers and there's different people that gravitate to each one of us. So don't ever feel sorry for your views and your opinions. And we got
It
Mama
is.
Alice up in the chat too. Absolutely adore you.
Can we shout out Mama Alice out real quick just to fill everybody in? My mom, not only has she been my caregiver and primary advocate and partner for the last 25 years and beyond, it's just, as I've been disabled, she's been my mama for 29. But she's been a nurse for more than 30 years, working with individuals. She worked at Sonoma State Hospital, working with um, hundreds of individuals with cognitive and physical disabilities, which is a beautiful, amazing, incredible facility. And now she works as a psychiatric nurse at Los Angeles County Corrections. I don't know if I should say that online, but she's a prison nurse. And has been an incredible advocate not only for myself, but for any, like the disabled community as a whole. She's advocated for individuals in my school system so that all the disabled kids had, their needs met and nurses and accommodations. She advocated for, individuals at her hospital, in addition providing the, best love, support, care you could possibly imagine. So yes, thanks for letting me take a second to just shout out someone who I'm incredibly proud to be her son and to have been raised and been taught by her example, and hopefully can carry it forward too. So love you, Mama. Thank you for
Yeah,
being
we all
awesome.
love you, Mama Alice. You
Yeah.
are amazing. One thing that she did for me that like I'll never forget is like she just has the kindest heart. So she was pushing me, and you can totally tell that she has like raised somebody who has been in a chair. So she tells me, "Little bump." When she's going over a bump, and I thought it was the cutest thing because it's like usually my family just hits the bumps and I go like fucking flopping all over the place, my feet going all over the place. And I thought it was so cute how kind she was to like the fact that I was going over a bump. And I
Well,
told
that's
Cage, that happened. So now every time he makes fun of me, every time we're going over a bump, he goes, "Little bump." I'm like, fucking little
yeah, I mean, it's so second nature to her just because she's like been, thinking about doing that, like pushing
For
wheelchairs for
20
so
something
long.
years. Yeah.
It's just so
Anything
automatic.
that's going
But
on with us, she's just like, "What do you need?" Like I love that. I think that's so dope, and I think it's really cool that she has that like mother nature to us, and that she's an ally to the disabled community. I think it's super cool being around all of our families. I think it's cool that we've got them involved and we gotten family and friends involved. And like that's what it's all about. If you're able-bodied and watching, it doesn't mean that you can't have disability pride and represent us and advocate for us. We need all the
yeah, I
help we
mean,
can get.
we love the able-bodied, members of our community. We rely on support on our, families and our caregivers and these individuals who, make our independent lives possible with the extra love and help and support that they provide. So
Mhm.
absolutely, shout out to all the ABs. And let me just
Mhm.
excuse emotional, my emotionality. I don't know the right word when it comes to some of these topics. It's been a fight my whole life. My mom was the one who started that fight. And I spent many a days in our back room with my mom on the phone with like three different binders and books in front of her with like the insurance book, like the ADA laws, like, her notebook. And like we would sit in the back room for seriously 8, 10 hours at a time. We would spend days. She would spend days on the phone. I would spend days back there with her. We'd spend days driving to, California Children's Services, to different, social services. I mean, we've been fighting for a long time, and we've, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I mean, I'm serious about the tears because unfortunately, it's been a fight and it's been a struggle my whole life. And I know so many other people that struggle every day right now. I mean, Shawn, Brianna, Bobby, we all do more than we should to a certain extent, but I know some other individuals that don't have the kind of support that I've had, and it
Yeah.
breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to know that there's no other way. There are no other places they can get the support and services, but there's Triumph Foundation, there's, organizations like what we talked about, there is, but I wish it was more recognized and more publicly recognized by our governing bodies, because it should be. It should absolutely
Mhm.
be a part of our government and our, services that support us. I mean, it's how it's supposed to be. So that's why I get emotional, is because it's been a
Mhm.
long fight, and it very personally affects me and many, many people in my life. So, like, it's hard to not get emotional about it,
Mhm.
living it every day.
You made me emotional just like mentioning about like that family support, because it's amazing what we've created in the community and the amount of support that we give one another. I just want to let like anybody watching know, like, if you can't count on the people around you, like, find a new circle. They're not your people, and you deserve to have a circle, and your circle is out there. And I've met so many people just by messaging them and just relating what we're going through and just saying, hey, you got this, hey, have a great day. Like, that creates a bond, and you might not be able to help the people around you or change their minds, but you matter. Your voice matters, your independence matters. Like, find your
Your
community. When I found
healthcare
my community, your
matters.
healthcare matters.
Your
You have to learn
independence
things.
matters.
When I'm around
Your
my community, I feel so powerful. So don't let that be an excuse to hold you back. You got this. Just
And
want to say
just to
that.
be clear, we're talking about human rights here. Now, human rights extend to every individual on planet Earth. Wherever you come from, wherever, whoever you are, whatever you are, like, you know, doesn't matter. If you are a human, there's a certain level of human rights that applies to you. Now, it is not dependent on your circumstances either. If your circumstances dictate, those rights being met in a different way, then though we need to figure out how to, meet those conditions and to extend the human rights to every individual. Because, yeah, just like I said before, the suffering that goes on, and it's not recognized, it's not seen. Even, I mean, I don't hear about it on the news. I didn't hear about all of the, state hospitals closing and the forced relocation of, thousands of mentally and physically disabled individuals that resulted in, half of that population passing away within a few years' time. Like, the lack of care, the lack of services that I've never heard about any of that in the news. I haven't heard any reporting on that. Although I know it's a fact. I know it's something that has happened. Like, you don't hear about the rehab time being shortened from, 6 weeks to 2 weeks for, most paraplegics coming, out of the hospital. Like, they are being sent home without wheelchairs, without equipment, without training, without caregivers, without any kind of home health services. How, how is that
So how
okay?
is it even possible, like, for us to change it at this point? Like, where does it start, Bobby? Do
We
you know?
talk.
Like, is
I
it
mean,
start with like us
we're having the
actually going to the
conversation.
fucking Congress and like demanding that it changed? Like, because it's like,
Yeah,
as a
there's a
community, we're all agreeing that this shit sucks, but it's like, where do we go from here? Like, how do we make them understand? Like, I
there's
think
a
that's
few
a
ways. Yes, Tom said it. there are ways. And it doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately, and it doesn't happen, in a year. It happens, way down the road, and it's a shame that we do have to fight for so many things. But there are ways around it. There are ways to talk to, your people. There are to your Congress people. There are ways to find out all the things that are available to you. I know, off the top of my hand, 5 to 10 individuals with disability that get everything. And when I say everything, they get everything. They still work. They still get all their benefits from the state. They still get all the insurance they need. They get all this free stuff. And you know how? They do their homework and they research what's out there and what's available. And when they do it, man, I just go, and I could have that too. And I'm blessed that I do have a good foundation where I don't have to worry about some of this stuff. But for those that do, they're out there. You got to find out and maximize it for yourself. You have to be on the phone, find out all the services that are available, how to keep your money when you are making money so you can still get your state disability. How do you get more hours. There's ways to fight, and there's ways to write, and there's ways to keep on it. And it's should it be that way? No, but it is. But I think it's always been, and it's been like that even for people without disabilities. It's for the mom that has a child that is falling behind in school. It's for the person that just doesn't seem like they're just struggling just with life, and they're always getting fired from their job, and they have no disability, they have no recourse. It's just sometimes bad luck. People have bad luck, and then they blame everything, and all they do is blame, and all they do is blame the system. And it doesn't get anywhere unless you get on the phone, unless you get on the screen and do your homework. Ask people, how do you get that? How can I qualify for something like that? What is the best avenue for me? What is, I don't want to say the word owed to me, but what are my options out there for me to have the most accessibility? And it starts by doing a lot of research. It starts by asking these people, and then going to your representatives and fight for more of these services that you are in need of.
I was injured in my adolescence. So, by virtue of me aging out of being a child and no longer being able to receive child services, I lost. And if it weren't for virtue of my mom's unique work situation and the state insurance and my ability to stay on her insurance past the age of 26, which is only by the fortune of Barack Obama and certain legislation that, wasn't able to be taken away by the Trump beings out there. Um, I would have lost significant level of care. And I mean, I still have, because the although I have private insurance, they go off based off of Medi-Cal guidelines, which mean that like the current wheelchair that I'm in isn't uh, proved generally by those guidelines. So I have to fight for it. I have to, spend additional time and energy to ensure that I get, the same kind of equipment, which is a fight I'm willing to have. The thing is that the system is discriminatory in many, many ways, and it shouldn't be, because there are examples of systems where, hey, if you have certain needs and there are enough resources available, we'll meet them. Uh, and I know there's a lot of gray areas. I know there's so much nuance here. But I do know that the way that the system is currently failing, and the way that it's trending, services are only going to continue to get worse. Our community is only going to continue to suffer more as a result of greed, hypocrisy, and wild lawmaking that's going on out there. And what we do is we just keep talking about it. um, we continue to have the conversation. We make the conversation, as loud as we can. We bring in as many people as we can, because if our voice isn't loud enough, maybe someone's listening out there, their voice is loud enough. And if the message is meaningful and necessary, then it will spread. We just got to keep having the conversation, and like working on some other things, some other ways to continue this conversation, not just on the podcast, but, a place online where we can keep talking to. It's all in the works. But again, it takes time. And we're fighting the fight that they fought 32 years ago today. It's the same fight, but we are the individuals carrying it forward. Things have gotten better, but they are not where they need to be. So we continue to talk, and we continue to advocate, and we continue to fight until every disabled individual out there, any newly injured person that this unfortunate circumstance happens to today, tomorrow, anytime in the future, will have what they need and will be able to live an independent, meaningful life regardless of their physical or mental ability.
Mm-hmm. Tom, have you ever thought of getting extra money from doing speaking jobs?
Hmm.
I don't know. I
I
speak
think
on
you would. I
literal. I
think you
speak
do
for the
really
literal
good.
family.
I
Um,
think you would do really good at one of those little seminars, and really touch people, because we need passionate people. I mean, you're talking about practice what you preach, my man. You
yeah,
could
no,
also be out there
I
doing stuff.
have. I have thought about it again. Like I know I almost feel like guilty getting paid to talk like from the heart, because it's just like stuff that I want to keep having a conversation
Mm-hmm.
about.
I
I
feel the
do
same
want
way
to,
about life
I,
coaching.
I do, I do want to roll on Washington, whether we do it through, something like Triumph or something, or we do live to roll on Washington, and all, 6, 8 of us in chairs, like roll on to some congressman's, like office doors, like
I'm
have a
sure more people will
conversation.
join us.
And I mean, I
Just
want
have
to
to
have that
start like,
conversation, and I want to talk to individuals. I want to talk to individuals from New Motion, this awful corporation who's like trying to like take over and like seriously like just take
uh,
advantage of millions of individuals, and by holding their wheelchairs and their repairs hostage. I mean, honestly, talk to me. I want to have that conversation. I want to talk to Blue Shield of California. I want to talk to the lawmakers behind, Medicare guidelines. Like, I want to have that conversation. I hate freaking politics. I know maybe it doesn't sound like it, and I don't
Let
want to
me.
be a politician, but I do want to talk. I want to know who's deciding this stuff.
So, Tom, when you got back last week, you mentioned to us about your conversation with somebody at New Motion and how
Yeah.
how the company should improve, obviously. And he said he was going to talk to somebody, get back to you. Has that happened?
No.
So yeah, so this is
No.
where Tom takes place, and I'm not trying to preach to you, but this is where takes place, and you get on the phone with that gentleman and said, "Hey, you said you were going to have an answer for me. What's going on? I want answers." And then if you're not going to talk to him, can I talk to him? Things
Well,
like that. And this is where people have to get started and make changes like that. I mean, on a personal note, I was trapped in a DMV, California Department of Motor Vehicles, in the bathroom. They had some funky old railing pipe around the sink, like they were afraid somebody was going to knock the sink off the wall or something. I don't know. But the way the railing went, it went straight to the door and it came out this way. So as I'm reaching for the door to pull it open, either I have to sit off to the side, but that pole was right there. So I barely could touch the handle. And as my fingers are like barely getting in, I couldn't get out. And I'm hearing like conversations going on. And I was in that bathroom and I'm like, not a good time to be a man because men just don't pee in public places. Women, they might go use the restroom a little bit more. I don't know. But nobody goes pee in motor vehicles. So I'm there for 20, 30 minutes, just like, I cannot get out of this bathroom. And, I could have gone home pissed. But instead, I seeked out a ADA lawyer, and all I want is changes. And I want changes that bathroom is made, that the next time I have to go in and renew my driver's license and have to be there in person, I want to know I can access that bathroom. And so I did. I seeked out a lawyer, and all we're doing is we sent a letter that we want these changes and demanded these changes. And because it is a state-owned facility, they have a little bit more leeway, which sucks. But we have a contract between me and the California Motor Vehicles, the one near me, that they have to make these changes within 3 years.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I asked for the bathroom, but when we went out there, they found that the parking lot and the access to get into the building was not accessible as well. And I didn't
Wow.
even notice that. And they're like, oh no, this is not acceptable. And so they have to make those changes as well.
Yeah, I give you guys props for speaking up. I mean, if you have that voice. When Tom came back and told me and Shawn that he went up on the new motion table, we were like, wow, we're proud of you. We could never do that, but
And
we're really proud of you for doing it.
I didn't go off. Like, I went and had a conversation with an individual, and I asked him some questions. And this poor guy, like, I wasn't trying to be rude, and I didn't like speak in a rudely intentioned way. I mean, I maybe like spoke a little emotionally, but it's because it's very personally affected from me. And he is an employee for New Motion. He works in their medical administration department, and the thing is, just computer guy, paper pusher. I don't know his capacity, whether it's high or low. He said that they asked for individuals to volunteer to come to these events and represent New Motion, and he volunteered. And they put him up for the weekend, and they come and they meet some of the individuals, the community that they service. Now, I think that is amazing and important. and essential. Most of all, because they can have conversations like the one I had. Now, if anybody isn't aware, New Motion is a company that has bought out almost every small mom and pop wheelchair repair service company in the western half of the United States. And I'm talking, draw a line from Texas up and over. They bought out almost every single one, um, including everyone local to me. And whether or not this was lobbied behind, the scenes or not, which again, I have my opinions on the matter, but I won't say them. Um, they are one of the only companies that are contracted to work with Medicare and Medi-Cal
Yeah.
and almost every major private insurance company in the United States. So when I say that, you don't really get a choice in your DME. Like, your insurance tells you what your options are, and in this case, the option that they give you is New Motion. And it is unfortunate because it's a rigged game. Now, because they took away all the other services by buying the companies out, they do not provide the same level of services. Meaning, if you had an issue and you needed to go in the same day, next day, within the next few days, that's not an option. They are like commodifying this. And I know that's a weird word, because I keep saying it, but what I say is, I mean, they send me to a repair call center in Albuquerque, New Mexico when I call in for a repair. That's the kind of service that I get. I don't have a local repair company or a local office that, will come out and service me. They send me to a, a phone service company to as a quadriplegic to try to troubleshoot my wheelchair issue. I honestly don't understand it. Like, it doesn't even make freaking sense to me. Like, I'm trying not to swear here. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg in regards to their lack of services, their lack of customer service, their lack of care for the disabled community, for disabled individuals, for their well-being, their safety, and their health, especially with the awareness that how important wheelchairs are, how important rehabilitation equipment is for our lives. Full awareness of it. They're willingly costing the lives of individuals by causing them to get pressure sores and causing them to go days and weeks without serviceable equipment. Bottom
Mhm.
line. Now, I asked him about some of this. I didn't say it quite like that, but I did ask him about some of it. And he said some of it's true. He said there are some nuances behind the scenes that I don't understand. Those were his
Yeah.
exact words. Now, if that is the case, educate me. Inform me on the nuances. And if they are not shady, if they are balanced and fair, and it's just the way the system has to be, fine. But have a conversation where you can put all your cards on the table and all the information out there, and we can actually talk about it.
Mhm.
Because if
And
it's not that way, if it's not fair, and if you can't share certain information, if it's so nuanced that you can't share it, then that is too suspect to operate in the public space and to operate with as much business and represent the community you do, because it's not fair.
Mhm.
so, Tom, we had a business, I had a business co-owner in a wheelchair business called Rehabilitation Designs in Woodland Hills for 5 years. I worked there for 7, co-owner with for 4 or 5 years. And at the end, before we had to close our doors, what was happening is, I had to tell somebody like Shawn. So I order Shawn's chair, and let's just say Shawn's chair is a new, quickie, standard, everything. And quickie is saying, great, we'll get it together. His insurance pays for it. The problem was I couldn't get that quickie because my company owed quickie, uh, all this money, but we couldn't pay it because I was not getting paid from Child Services, one of our main suppliers. So California Children's Services of California, we're ordering all these chairs. You don't have to have uh, uh, what's that called? Uh, we can order somebody's chair 18 and under just like that with no prior authorization. That's what I meant to say. So we didn't need authorization. So we order, and you got to remember, a children's chair that fully seating system and all that, just under what a power chair was, and it's like 18,000, 19,000 sometimes. And then some of them needed power chairs, and that would get up into the 20,000s with these elaborate seating systems. And then CCS would be like, oh, okay, I'm glad.
California
And then the
Children's
only way
Services.
we can submit the bill is we had to give the person the wheelchair. So we get this person the wheelchair. Then CCS was coming back and going, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And then we have to justify it. Now we're sitting on 60 days since we got paid from them, 90 days, 100. We got all the way out to 210 days before they were paying us chunks and chunks of money, arguing to them what is going on. You're not even asking about all these. So next thing I know, we have this cash flow business. I can't pay Quickie. I can't pay Light. And the next thing I know, I'm telling Shawn, yeah, it's on back order. And because one time I said, talk to CCS because they owe us all this money. And somebody called CCS, and then they called my partner, and like, he cannot say that. That is against the law. We have the right to go after him. We have the right to question and pay you whenever we want. We have a contract with you, but we don't have to pay you right away. Nowhere in the law says that we have to pay you right away.
Now,
So it's like this
I
catch-22
understand some
sometimes.
of those nuances. Now, it's like, one of the big qualms I have with New Motion is that my wheelchair repairing company, like my DME, when I first growing up, shout out Western Rehab in Northern California, Mark and Carl and the whole family there. They're amazing. They were amazing to have growing up, but they would be able to operate very often without prior authorization, but able to, maybe they were doing it as a favor, but they would always get paid by the insurance. They would always be able to, submit whatever necessary to was to get paid. But they wouldn't make me wait weeks to get what I need. I mean, the issue with the emotion I have right now is like, if I have an issue with my chair, I call like, okay, I'm having some issues. They're like, okay, in 2 weeks we can send someone out to assess your problem, not to service your wheelchair, but to assess your problem.
Yeah.
Then, because they can't authorize anything without a repairman, doing the due diligence and filling out the paperwork, I have to wait however long for the servicemen to come out. You're like, okay, you have a problem. All right, that's what I told you. Now we need to submit it through the insurance. So I have to every time, which I used to not have to do this. My doctor used to just be able to write me a 1-year repair and service prescription order for my wheelchair, whatever, and it would just work. I have to call my doctor. They have to send in a prescription to my insurance company. Then New Motion has to wait for the approval from the insurance to even order the supplies. So I'm talking 4 to 6 weeks before what I need to service my chair, to repair my chair, is even ordered. Now, that is a failing in the system. That is not suitable, sustainable, healthy, safe for anybody. Okay, it is the bottom line, and it didn't used to be that way. Now, what changed, and why did it get that way? Is it law making? Is it how insurance is operated? Is it because New Motion bought out all of the local business and changed the game? I don't know. I'm really interested in figuring it
I
out.
mean, some of it happened because it is a bigger company, and the mom and pops used to say, you know what, Tom, we're going to get you your batteries, even though we don't have an authorization. We did it all the time. That's why I'm not in business and haven't had the wheelchair. I got out of it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Luckily cut my ties and didn't lose too much of my shirt and still have a roof over my head because we were making deals like that and we were giving them out. These big companies, unfortunately, they won't. And then I hate to tell you, like, especially with people in the catheters back in the day, just before Shawn was hurt, people, we didn't have a limit of 210 or limit of 180 on catheters. You got as many as you want. So what was happening is people took, it just like this, people take advantage of all the system. They did it to the catheters, they did it to the wheelchairs. And what would happen is they would order all these parts that they didn't need and claim that they did, and then they would sell off the parts. So people were ordering like 500 catheters, then they would take them to Rancho and try to sell them at Rancho, or to their friends that didn't have insurance, or sell them to overseas. And the people took advantage of this crap. And so all of a sudden, once Medicare got a hold of all this, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now we're putting a limit on the catheters. Now we're putting a limit on what you need for your wheelchair. It used to be that you can have a new wheelchair every 3 years when I got hurt. Now it's every 5 or 7, depending on what your wheelchair is.
Yeah.
I think where the fault is with that is that everybody is different when they get injured. And so they can't have the same guidelines for all of us.
We are operating in 2022. We are all in a system. We are all, checked and balanced, on a spreadsheet somewhere with our disability, our category, our level of function, our healthcare history. They have a full, well understanding of how dysfunctional we are and what we need to operate healthy and independently, or at least they should, because we're living in a modern era. And there are ways to modernize that. And I know there are shady people out there. But that isn't the point. It the
Oh, hold on 1 second. We're going to switch it up just before, because we're getting a little late on our show. Ben did donate $3 for our super stickers. So we really do appreciate that, Ben. We love you showing love to us, and you guys all listening and being so intrigued with this conversation, and sharing your guys' thoughts and ideas in the chats. I have been reading them and we'll go through them soon. And, we are promoting our GoFundMe. So if anybody can help, we're out there fighting the good fight, and we hate to ask, but if you do have anything extra or you can give, it really does help us out so much. That money does add up, and it helps feed the group. It helps help us get on the plane and help us have a comfy hotel room when we're trying to be out there. And it's exhausting, but it's worth it. We're meeting people, we're giving these tips and tricks, we're bringing more viewers, and we're helping people, and so, yeah, that's what your funds go to. Know that you are donating to a good cause. We're not just using your money to smoke a bunch of weed.
Yeah, it's not coming from a place of greed. It's not being used for any other means than supporting Live to Roll, supporting production of our videos, supporting travel, supporting us spreading the word, the message, and the resources, and to helping us motivate, educate, and empower, baby. That's what we're out here trying to do.
I was thinking about what we had that conversation outside of that pub, Tom, with that couple. I thought that was super empowering. I almost forgot all about it because we were just like on a different level. But there was this couple that was just so intrigued by our group and intrigued by us. And I thought it was so cool, the questions that they were asking, and they just weren't educated on it. But as soon as they found out that it was even a thing, they were like, wow. And they were intrigued and helping and learning more. And I thought it was really cool, the questions that they asked,
I'm sure I'm getting their names wrong. I think it's like Ryan and Lisa or something. Like
I don't remember.
I was like 2 Heinekens and a tequila shot deep at that conversation. So
I think I have
don't
a
judge
lot of
my
that on
memory
camera
too
because
much.
Tom would just leave that camera running on his lap for like hours at a time. And I've been going through, and there was a conversation you guys had.
Oh yeah, that would be dope to listen to, because they were genuinely like intrigued by us, and I thought that was super cool because some people they might ask some like basic stupid questions, but they were just like, they were amazed that this was even thing, and I thought it was cool that we got to have it.
It wasn't basic and stupid. Like they were just like really genuine and curious, and like they were really like stoked to see like all of us out there in chairs like doing our thing. So I thought that was like very cool.
Because without us going to Chicago, that conversation would have never happened. We would have never had that ripple effect, and so that's what it's all about. And it's amazing how many people like don't know about certain resources, and I think it's really cool that we're able to bring that to them and help them on their journey,
And
that also makes an important point. What you said though, you ran into people. Educate yourself, so that when you do run into somebody at the supermarket or at a restaurant, and they're asking you a little bit more, you are educated and can deliver that message. I've had somebody where after I educated them, they're like, oh my gosh, wow. They called me up and they offered me a huge job at one time. I didn't take it. I wasn't like, I think I'm not qualified and I'm not going to drive to LA. But here is a guy offering me a job just for my ideas and for me being so motivated because I've never, and that's how I got my first job and how I owned my own wheelchair shop. I went in there and he goes, well, what can you do? And I'm like, I don't know, but if you hire me, you're not going to regret it. And I became one of the top sales guys, making really good money every year. And, just by saying, hey, I can do it. Get out there, educate yourself, be confident about what you deliver, and go out there and represent your voice. There's many ways to do it. United Spinal, they just had it. Roll on Capitol Hill. I've done it. You guys have to do it. You join United Spinal, you get into talking to your representatives and deliver some things that are pressing. When we got in there, we got to press about the travel accessibility act that we want. And that, listen, when you break my wheelchair, this is how much it costs. And, every single one of them were just like, are you kidding me? Wow. Okay. That, they took note. Now, we got to get there and keep delivering the message. So when the bill goes across their desk, they're going to pass it.
Yeah,
Heck
1,000%.
yeah. I mean, I want to do it. I'm gonna sign up with the United. I mean, I'm already signed up with their newsletter, but I'm gonna look into that Roll on Capitol Hill, and I mean, it's something I want to do next year. Either individually or Live to Roll. I mean, if I'm doing it by myself, it's with Live to Roll. But I would love to go with you guys, and for a bunch of us to go, and I'm gonna go with like some ammunition in my pocket. And don't listen to that Secret Service. When I say ammunition, I mean educational ammunition.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, we're peaceful protesters.
Yeah, we're
We fight with
libertarians.
our words.
We're libertarians out in California. I don't think guns should be, allowed in the public. But
Actually,
here,
hold on one second, Tom. One of our own just
yeah.
actually went out roll on Capitol Hill, Jessica Brito.
Yeah, Jessica
So
did.
she's
Yeah.
representing us out there. So
Yeah.
that's how you get it done.
I
That's how
want to.
you get a free trip to DC too.
I want
That's super
to
cool.
just shout out two things. One, Derek in our chat. What up, my man, Derek? He said he just got denied for additional caregiving hours through Medicaid, and now he has to do a fair hearing. You don't know what to expect. I've never done a hearing myself. I've been to that point where I've been denied and denied. But fight the fight. Fight it, dude. Um, and yeah, it's your right. If that's what you need is additional care, then go and just speak. I mean, you're gonna have to go and speak in front of a judge and try to justify it. I'm not sure if you can have any representation or anything like that, but if you do have any questions or need any help or anything, man, please feel free to reach out. Happy to operate within whatever capacity I can to assist you, because advocate for yourself and don't let them deny you, because it is your right. It is your human right, for whatever necessary care you require to be functional, healthy, and independent. And this is the last point. I'm gonna stop talking about this stuff until we do a whole episode dedicated to it. The problem with all of this, the problem with it all, and what needs to change is the rules of capitalism cannot apply to healthcare institutions and companies. It is the bottom line. I think, like, if you're did R&D and you're developing and innovating and stuff, absolutely, like, we do need some incentivization for development, but I think there's a lot of that out there already, more than enough. And I am sorry, but the reason New Motion is so fucked up, and I'm going to say it, pardon my French, is because they have billions of dollars. They operate within incredible profits margins, okay? And they could easily, willingly, happily, to ease their conscience and to have a soul when they go to bed at night, maybe infringe upon those profit margins a little bit and do what they can to bridge some of these gaps and these lapses of care and this inability to get services and equipment to individuals in a meaningful amount of time.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
I hope this
it might cost a little bit of money,
conversation motivated.
but
Yeah.
And that's every healthcare company out there. It's not just New Motion. I'm sorry, but like it's not a sin or a bad thing to make money, but it is when it is affecting and costing the lives and the health and the quality of life of the individuals in which you are selling the products to. So, common sense, bottom line, be a little bit more humble, I
Yeah,
think.
1000%.
I
I
don't
hope
know.
this conversation motivated you guys to just go out and use your voices, find what you're passionate about. If you see something wrong, speak up. Sometimes it feels like, so many people are doing things and that your voice is a lot more tinier, but I promise you it's not. I felt like that for a long time. And you're a part of it. Even if there's 99 people and we need that one to hit 100, like you matter. So I hope that you go out into the world, just like Bobby said, and be kind and speak your voice and be educated about these things because you don't know what blessings are going to open up. I was very depressed. I hated my wheelchair for a long time. And anytime anybody asked about it, I was like, I hate my life. I hate you. I don't want to be out in public, and I was just miserable. And I realized that the blessings started coming when I embraced my disability and when I was proud of who I was and how I was showing people that I was more than my disability, and that I'm a person regardless of if I'm sitting in a chair or if I'm standing up next to you talking. So, yeah.
And thank you, Bobby, for being the angel on the shoulder today while I was sitting here being the, devil,
Me and Shawn are
sounding
just looking
negative.
down at you guys.
No, I mean,
Well,
really, I appreciate it because it's important to,
yeah,
highlight the reality of this stuff and, why things are the way they are, because everyone operates within context and certain nuance and stuff. Like, there is some stuff that I don't know. And I can sit here and, talk a lot about how the way things should be, but, that's not reality always. So I do appreciate you balancing it with, the reality of things a little bit more. Um, so I just want to say
That's
that.
a balance. Yeah,
And
that's a
and I'll
balance.
and I'll tell you this, Tom, and the reason why I just kind of focus on look at what we do have. Because if you look at what we do have, that's how you can figure out how to expand upon that. So, it's always a good way to jump and get the access. And trust me, I'm dealing with it right now. And I could go on and on about, this stupid surgical wound I have and going, hey, why is this doctor he didn't give me something different until I pressed him on it, and he goes, well, I guess you can try that. I guess. What do you mean you guess? Do you know, or why didn't you do it before I pressed you? I mean, are you kidding me? You're a professional and I am not. And you're like, yeah, I think that would work. You think?
yeah.
Should I try it? you know I can get right with you, Tom, but I also have to educate myself what is going to work. And that's how I got something changed a little bit, because I pressed that damn doctor and I said,
Hmm.
don't you think this would work? Isn't there something different? This is taking too
Yeah.
long.
I'm struggling right now with that medical and with them giving me pain because all they will approve me for is pain medicine. And I'm like, try to get an electric stimulator. I try to get all these different things to help me out. And they just keep denying me, denying me, denying me. And it's like sucks because it's like you're only giving me either deal with the pain or be drugged out on these medications. Those are literally my only options. And every time I go there, I present them with a new opportunity. I mean, a new chance for my pain to go away. Like, can you guys check out? Can you guys take the freaking shards of bullets out of my nerve pain? Can you? And it's always like, yeah, I don't know. I'll ask around. I don't really know. I can send you over here, but they send me over there and they don't know anything anyways. And it just is like a cycle. And it's like, yeah, I can sit here and use my pain as an excuse not to live my life. Trust me, I fucking want to. It hurts. Or I can be like, this is my life. This is what I have in front of me. What can I do to improve it? Can I put on heating packs? Can I get a massage gun? What can I do for myself that's going to make me feel a little bit more better? And it just, you have choices in life. That's all we're saying. So yeah, it's a balance between fighting and being proud of yourself. Like, I feel like it's constantly like that battle,
Well, I fight because I am proud. I
Mm-hmm.
fight because I'm proud of my life. I fight because I'm proud of my disability and who I am. I fight
Mm-hmm.
because, I believe that, I'm on the same level as any other, human on this planet. And, I deserve, access to all the services and care and, all those human rights that, we all should have,
Mhm.
access. So
Yeah, I think you're a great balance,
that's
Tom, because
what it's
you're
all
passionate
about.
about these things, but you're also very caring and positive person, like your energy is a good energy to be around, and you influence people's lives with your words. So I think like that's the balance we're talking about, find your passion and be passionate about something, We're not saying that you just have to be like a dud in this
Yo,
world.
Brianna, your words inspire me and so many other people out there. Thank you for being such a, strong,
Are you
beautiful,
sure,
independent
Tom?
woman.
Are you
The
sure?
example
Because our
of someone
Chicago
who's
trip
out there,
ends differently.
overcoming her disability and the shit that comes along with it. Shawn, you beautiful son of a gun, dude. Out here, start live to roll, motivating, empowering, educating so many people, dude, bringing the family together, doing all you've done to support us, to support our community, man. You inspire me every day, broski. And last, but certainly not least, Mr. Bobby Rohan, the father of Live to Roll, the man who's had his skin in the game longer than any of us, but is an incredible, amazing mentor, example. I know has had an influence, positive effect on lots of people in my life that I got a lot of love for, my life personally. So thank you, Bobby, for inspiring me, man, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
continuing
always like
to.
to throw in my Bobby story because I was still very newly injured when I was going to the support groups and I was going to the Rancho support group like every single week. And I just remember like I got so motivated by Bobby's thrive for life and the fact that he was still trying to do everything that he possibly could himself, and here I was able to do so much more and letting my mind limit me to so much. I was out there saying I couldn't, I can't every single day. And I feel like he just sparked something inside of me when I watched him pushing across that lot at Rancho. And I tell this story like again and again. Like I'm always like my community has inspired me beyond belief because I'm like, no, like if you can do it, I can do it. And that goes to show you that you never know when somebody's watching you. He didn't know I was watching him. I was just creeping behind the window, and I was just watching him. Like he didn't know, he was just trying to get to his destination. And so live your life, keep on trying, don't say you can't. Like we love to see those new opportunities. We love all you guys in the chat. Let me just also say this resource I saw. I hope I'm saying this. Is this Donette? Is that how you say that
The
name?
net, I
I hope
think.
so.
Yeah.
Danette.
yeah,
Okay,
Jeanette,
check out
yeah,
Pro
pro
Fitness
fit.
for Health. Therapist Greg English. He will charge you based on your income, ability, and help you accomplish what you want. He's in Riverside. My son John has been going for a year, getting feeling in his upper legs. And Airwing said,
Yeah,
thanks for
I
sharing
know.
the information. We have Vibs Adapted Life. All
And
up in
we
here.
love individuals like Greg out there who do exactly that. I personally know of some other individuals that operate in a very similar way, where they look at your situation and will not turn you away based on your situation, but work with you with your situation. And that's how it should be for all of us. Medicare for all, healthcare for all. I don't care what you say and how you say it. There's only one way that it is, and despite your circumstances, you should have access to healthcare services.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so
now I
much
know
love to
why we
everybody in the
start
chat.
our. Now I know why we start our Tuesday at 3:30 because man, I gotta pee so bad.
Dude, the reason I got so fired up too
Yeah.
is I was sitting here drinking a cup of coffee and that caffeine hit me. So, I was
Yeah.
on
Oh
one
yeah.
I know I'm
today.
over here on my Red Bull. I'm pumped. But yeah, we're a little bit over time. I'm getting a little sweaty. I need to smoke a blunt, guys. Sorry. This has been a great show. I absolutely adore you guys for coming on and supporting me and having me a part of the family. I take inspiration from each and every one of you guys, and it's been a journey. It's been a blessing, and I
Thanks
appreciate the ride.
for letting us lame dudes come and invade the
Yeah.
fucking show.
Thank
I
us for
know y'all were
cracking.
disappointed. We'll bring back the beautiful ladies next week and get our ugly bugs back to our normal
Yeah.
time. But what
In
up, Quad Life?
in 2 weeks, the ladies will be back with the regular crew, and
Hmm.
then
Yeah, we're
we'll.
hoping that we can do an
Oh,
in-person one. Fingers crossed for us. And
that's
also make sure
right.
that you check out the guys every other Tuesday. We're doing a lot of big things right now. We're Texas Abilities Expo is coming up very soon on August 5th, I believe, right? It starts.
5th to the 7th. Yep. So we will
Yeah.
be in Houston. Come out and visit us. We'll
Also, we're trying to create some new content, maybe come out with another show called Rolling Over the Hill, maybe. We don't know. We're
it's gonna be an
coming up
old
with
people
a
show for all you
yeah.
Yeah.
all you old folks out
We
there.
have a lot of
All you old
ideas. We're
fogies.
Like Bobby.
brainstorming behind the scenes, guys. Don't worry. We're working hard. We all have goals and we all have, accomplishments that we want to make in this community. So just know that we are fighting this fight behind the scenes as well. And we hope you guys like it and appreciate it. And if you do like this video, if it was informational for you, leave a like for us. Leave a comment underneath. It helps boost our algorithm and show other disabled people and other people regardless on YouTube that we're out
Bobby,
here. We're here to stay and we're loud.
are you missing a thumb, Bobby?
No, it's
just a pinky.
it bends so weird. So, but that's my thumb.
Oh my God! It's like the magic trick where it's like, oh, you like pull apart your thumb. Like I just got totally fooled.
Bobby is missing a pinky though.
Oh, you are missing a finger. I knew you were missing a finger. That's why I said something.
That's a whole
I'm all
nother
looking on
story.
close. I was like, is he missing a finger?
It was
I
just
paid
the
attention
wrong
to those things.
digit. It was
That's
just the
gonna
wrong
be that's
digit.
another one of the series I'm trying to start here on Live to Roll is Tales from the Crypts, which are gonna be some crazy stories. So we may be getting we'll get the Bobby finger story.
You're being an ableist towards me too, Shawn. Rude.
No, Tales from the
What?
Crypts. That's all Crypts.
Oh,
It's all-
The Quap squad is represented.
Okay.
Don't worry about
no
it.
quad stuff. It's Tales
The
from the
Quap
Crypts.
squad. We
Okay,
got that P at the end. We're including the paraplegics.
Yeah, we're getting.
Nikki,
appreciate it.
Brianna, don't come after us. We represent everybody up in
Me and
here.
Nikki had to get a little crazy in Chicago because we felt
know,
just a little
I
judge.
know.
No, it's all jokes.
We
We're
were
all just playing
outnumbered by
around.
the quads. We had 4-2 on quads out there, so we were like quadding it up.
Yeah, it's all jokes, guys. It's just funny because they started the quad squad before I was even a part of it. And so Tom just already had that in his head. So when we were out in events, he would just be screaming quad squad. And I'd be like, hey, Tom, I'm coming.
Screaming
Here I
at
am
the
behind
top
you
of
guys.
my
Going.
lungs. Squad.
I'm like, no, include me. So he started saying quad squad and Brianna, but I still thought
Yeah, so it's not quad, it's quap with a P
Yes,
at the
shout
end
out to
to like
Emily.
include the paraplegics. Yeah, shout out to Em who came up with that. And
it's
yeah.
such a good short name for her because I get so confused.
Heck yeah.
Okay, we can talk forever, guys. We appreciate you guys. Check out our sponsors. Leave that like. Thank you guys for joining another amazing show and catch us back soon. Bye. Live to
Love you
roll.
guys.